artificial intelligence skin.
Hi guys, so the 4th generation Audi A3 made its global debut last year in 2020. Now the model has yet to reach the Malaysian market, but we do know that it is based on the Volkswagen Group MQB Evo platform that also underpins the Mark 8 Volkswagen Golf. Now, as usual in its home market, the A3 is available with a wide range of petrol and diesel powertrains. There's also plug-in hybrids, full electric vehicle and natural gas variants to choose from. Range-topping variant to date is the S3, which has a 2-liter 310 horsepower engine with all-wheel drive. That's basically a Golf R with an Audi badge. But now there is a new range topper in the A3 family, which is the RS3 with a 2.5-liter 5-cylinder engine producing 400 horsepower. So like the regular A3, the RS3 is available in both sedan and hatchback body styles. Its exterior design... Oh my god, can I not talk about its exterior design? Now, bringing our discussion back to meatier topics, the RS3 is powered by Audi's famous 2.5-liter 5-cylinder engine that first debuted in 2009 in the TTRS, that time making just 340 horsepower. So many years, many awards, many improvements later, this engine now makes 400 horsepower, 500 Newton meters of torque. The engine is paired with a 7-speed dual clutch transmission with all-wheel drive as standard. Performance 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.8 seconds. Top speed 250 kilometers per hour. Pay a bit of money, it becomes 280 kilometers per hour thanks to the removal of the electronic speed limiter. Pay a bit more for the RS dynamic package and you get to hit as high as 290 kilometers per hour. So with all that performance, it will be highly irresponsible for the RS3 to not come with significant degrees of chassis enhancements. And it does. The suspension setup of the RS3 is unique in comparison with other members of the A3 family. There is a choice between passive sports suspension as well as adaptive dampers with 3-mode selection. And it sits lower to 10 millimeters closer to the ground than the S3, 25 millimeters lower than a standard A3. Furthermore, the front wheels are mounted with an additional 1 degree of negative camber, whereas the rear wheels get an additional ½ degree of the same. And as we know, with negative camber, you get better stability around the corners as the outer wheels sit better on the tarmac. And the difference in added negative camber between the front and the rear implies that Audi set this car up for a bitier front end and a bit more of a playful rear. And indeed, they made this car for you to go sideways rather frequently because the rear wheel carriers have been engineered to take additional lateral loads during driving. Now, the steering setup is also unique to the RS3. The ratios are progressive, becoming more and more direct with added steering angle. The idea is so that it is less fidgety in the off-center, but as you turn more and more, the steering becomes increasingly responsive. It is also speed sensitive, meaning that the assistant levels, it increases at lower speeds for easier tight space maneuvering, but progressively reduces as you speed up so that the car feels more stable at high speeds. But the real party piece of the RS3 is this thing called the RS torque splitter. Here you can see the engine driveline configuration of the RS3 with the 2.5 TFSI engine mounted transversely up front, paired to the 7-speed S-tronic DCT. At the rear, meanwhile, we have the RS torque splitter. Now we move on to the sensor and controller network managing the RS3's driveline. Basic stuff that you have in almost every modern car include wheel speed sensors, steering angle sensors, engine control unit, transmission control unit. The ESC module is common in most cars too, but Audi gives the one here in the RS3 a more canggih name, calling it Vehicle Dynamic Controller. Basically, it reads the steering angle sensor and wheel speed sensors to determine the car's situation and response based on the driver's inputs. Now, the RS torque splitter has its own control units too, plural, one for each side. They are interlinked and they feed on inputs from the engine, transmission, and dynamic control modules. Kanina, that's 5 computers in one car. And we belum kira the infotainment yet. So why does a rear diff need 2 control units? Because it has 2 multi-plate clutch packs, one on each side, that enables the RS3 to not only vary its front-rear torque bias, but also precisely determine how much it wants to give which rear wheel around the corner. So with the RS torque splitter, the RS3 can drastically alter its dynamic balance. You can have it front biased, fully neutral, or rear biased depending on your selected driving modes. There's also a couple of track optimized modes as well. RS performance for faster lap times and RS rear torque, which sends 100% drive astern for well, you know why lah. Okay, so the RS3 is officially available for order in Europe. Prices start at 60,000 euros for the Sportback model and 62,000 euros for the sedan before options. My initial impressions of this car, not that fond of the styling, but from a mechanical standpoint, it does tickle my fancy, to be honest. I like the fact that it has a 5-cylinder engine, the only one in its segment, perhaps the only one in the market. So even though on paper it's 20 horses down from the Mercedes-AMG A45, but I'm sure the RS3 will make up for that with a nicer sound from its 5-cylinder engine, and a visit to any aftermarket tuners like Mike Yap of DNA Tuning will easily overturn that 20 horsepower deficit into a sizable advantage. And no doubt Audi has put in tremendous amounts of homework in developing the chassis of that car. I'm still getting around the fact that this car has 2 control units for its rear diff. Wait, hang on. Let me just quickly show you the interior first. So that's it, quick preview video of the all-new Audi RS3 based on the 4th generation Audi A3. Alright, so as usual, we say these times, take care out there, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. And subscribe.
When I switched to Pro mileage, in my case, I got 46-47% of savings for that car.
Pro mileage was the only one that gave me 5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper, a lot less. A lot
Turn
less.
up! Let your bitch keep fucking me. Ride with the mob, voila. Check you and me, into your job. Nerd is the name, been born into the chain. Turn on photo watch.